I'm Mike Flynn, Senior Director of Enterprise Applications and Analytics at Persefoni, and we are responsible for bringing the technology to run our business to Persefoni. We do things like Salesforce, our go-to-market technologies, our automations and integrations, and then our data warehouse, data visualizations through Tableau and Snowflake. Persefoni has a climate accounting software. We're a software as a service, and companies come to us to help make sense of how do you calculate your carbon footprint. It's largely a data issue, and we have experts that have gone through the different ways of calculating your footprint and made it easy through software. A team at Persefoni, if we rewind a year ago, we had 50 people. And at that point, you still have a go-to person for doing everything. And so when you want to do something, you send a Slack and say, hey, I want to do this. They facilitate from there. And as we grew those Slack conversations, more people got involved and became this spider web of communication. It was hard to keep track of who's doing what, where does something stand. And so that was really the pain. A lot of especially when you talk about when we wanted to bring a new person on, a new job rec, a lot of that pain fell to the talent acquisition team. They had to answer questions like, have you thought this role through completely? Do we have approval for this? Is this something that was forecasted? And they were quarterbacking this information between our FP&A team, our executive team, and the hiring manager. And it was hard. It put a lot of pressure on the talent acquisition team to make sure that all the boxes were checked before we actually started recruiting a position. Persefoni is a technology company, and what's great is the way they view how to scale and run a company through data, through technology, and through automation. And so Workato was already at Persefoni before I came. That shows that they already had this vision. But when they talked about where they wanted to go with technology and data and automation, that's what drew me to come to Persefoni, and then knowing that this is an area where we were going to grow using something like Workato. The number one thing that Workato allows us to do is that it allows us to start small with solving a very specific pain point. And once we solve that, we can continue to iterate over that. And so for us, the first thing was knowing who to contact to open a job rec. And so instead of knowing which person to Slack in our company or which team to go to, we created the Workbot to say, I want to open a job rec, and it got the message to the right person. That worked great until everyone is submitting job recs, and now we're facilitating that spider web of communication. So then what we did is we started building a process. And so there is now an approval chain that goes through. What questions do you need to answer before you reach out to create a job rec? Once you have that information, who's the first person that's signing off before it goes to our executive team? We then iterated on top of that to say that we don't have all the information just when you submit the request. The talent acquisition team would have to look to make sure that we were competitive on salary. Then they would have to look to see, is the language okay in our job description? And so what we did is we started automating the collection of that data to enrich that Slack communication so that you didn't have to context switch into different applications to get the information. It was all delivered to you. So you're really just making a decision. And so Workato allowed us to iterate quickly. It helped us build that process automation, but then it allowed us to connect into these outside sources to bring information in. And so someone didn't have to log into different applications and spend time hunting for data. We were able to use the Workato to deliver it to the person making the decision. We set out to hire 160 people in 2022. We did that all in Q1, and we surpassed that goal because we had automated that process. Workato made it so easy to hire people that we could go out and recruit the best people. It really allowed us to accelerate. And now Workato is going to allow us to continue to hire. That process we set up with Workato is going to allow us to hire the next 160 and on and on. And making sure that we are doing the right checks, where the language is correct, the salary is correct. We're doing everything we need to do. It's part of our plan going forward. We've had great success with Workato, and we're excited about what Workato is going to enable us in moving into the future.